Namaskar and welcome to What Does This Data Say once again. I am Ajay Prakash. Just as we were done with the Gujarat polls, our Prime Minister Mr. Modi shot off to the northeast, where he started another fresh round of campaigning. The elections in Meghalaya, Tripura, and Nagaland are due in March next year, but there are only five parliamentary seats in these three states. However, each of these states has 60 assembly seats, so the Prime Minister thought it wise enough to start the campaigning early. Now, if you look at this from the BJP's point of view, the party has been losing power state after state and they are reducing in number. So, just to keep the number tally intact, it is necessary for them to win these northeast states as well. And then in 2023, there is the all important elections of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, and Telangana. Now, if there is an election, Mr. Modi has to lead the BJP in the campaigning. So then one wonders if the Prime Minister is busy in electioneering 24 by 7, then who is running this country? Now, had Mr. Modi really been spending time on governance, then my question is why are some of the indicators of our economy and other parameters pointing southward? And why is it BJP ruled states where BJP has been in power for now decades don't show any improvement at all and remain a drain on our economy? I will first present to you the summary of these parameters and then take you through four or five of these in detail just to give you an idea where we are heading and what we can expect in the years to come. And much of this would never have come to you, and if at all someone has discussed this, it would have been sugar coated. So keep watching till the end, and it's in your own interest that you are aware of these things well in advance. Because when the curtains are down, don't expect the government to come to your rescue or assistance. You will have only yourself to help.
Hello there. Just pause for a moment and think about the difference between information and news. Information comes from data, and it's all about numbers. Researchers analyze these numbers and present them to you as authentic, genuine information. On the other hand, the news is just an opinion, and opinions can be manipulative. The only way you can recognize propaganda and fake news is by looking at the data. So keep watching. Information, not news.
So here is the summary. Much of these numbers you must be hearing in the past week, where the supplementary budget discussions are happening in our parliament and the speeches given by Mahua Moitra, Raghav Chadda, and Professor Manoj Kumar Jha. Point number one. Just in February this year, the Parliament had sanctioned the Indian budget at 38.83 lakh crores. And come December, the government has run out of funds and is asking for an additional 3.26 lakh crores, roughly about 10% of the initial amount. And the government is giving several justifications for this, but the basic issue remains that it is the inflation which is causing the increase in government spending. You have heard a lot about unemployment. In 2014, it was 4%. Today, it is around 8%. And the government has no data for the job losses which happened in the unorganized sector, especially during the pandemic period. Recently, our Prime Minister was giving away appointment letters to many job aspirants. Just to remind you that there were 22 crore applicants for the 7 lakh jobs which have been given so far. The inflation is at a 30-year high. Food inflation is hovering between 10 and 17%. Recently, it has shown some downward trend. Another disturbing fact is that our average per capita income of the country has reduced by 9,160 rupees in the year 2020-2021. I will be discussing the debt crisis of Government of India later in this episode, but according to Raghav Chadda, MP Aam Aadmi Party in Rajya Sabha, he mentioned that the Government of India total market borrowings between 1947 and 2014 was 55 lakh crore rupees, and the BJP government, led by Mr. Modi from 2014 to 2022, has already borrowed 85 lakh crore rupees. So the 7-year borrowings are far, far greater than the borrowings of the last 67 years. The debt to GDP ratio in 2014 was 66%. Today it is close to 90%. And though the government will say that next year's growth will be 8%, none of the world agencies like the World Bank, CRISIL, Goldman Sachs, or IMF all are showing India's growth between 5 to 6%. And Raghuram Rajan recently in the interview when he was talking with Rahul Gandhi, he mentioned that he would see India struggling to meet the 5% growth target. Now, if our economy keeps doing badly, then who are the people who are going to be most affected in our country? At the top of the list are the senior citizens who are already suffering from the failing economy. Then the lower and the middle class will get the affected the most. And thirdly, the unorganized sector workers are going to be affected too because of reduced economic activity. So let's get into the details of some of these indicators. Firstly, this government is living on borrowed money. Here is the graph showing India's debt to GDP ratio from 1997 till 2021. Please look at it very carefully. Even during the 96-97 turbulent times when I.K. Gujral was the Prime Minister and before that H.D. Deve Gowda, our debt to GDP ratio was around 66%. And then Mr. Vajpayee came into power and gradually the debt to GDP ratio started increasing in 2003. It peaked to 83%. And then came Manmohan Singh period UPA 1 and UPA 2, and there was a gradual fall again in the debt of the country. The minimum was 65%, but by the time he left the government in 2014, it was around 66%. And then Mr. Modi took over, and thereafter again the debt to GDP ratio started increasing, and now it has reached a level close to 90%. Now, should you think that is because of the pandemic, just have a look at this graph closely. You will see that it is after the demonetization when the trouble for the Indian economy started and the government started taking more money from the market. And many a times in my previous episodes, also, I have shown that it was the demonetization which destabilized the country's economy. The pandemic came much later. For the BJP, the demonetization is long forgotten, and that's one reason why you never hear about it anymore from the government. Now I am going to show you some data related to the purchasing power of people in the BJP ruled states, which for years has not shown any improvement at all. In fact, these states continue to remain a drain on our economy. Now, for this discussion, I have taken the total GST collection in every state from July 2021 to June 2022, added it, and then divided it by the population of that state. Now, that gives an indicator which is called the per capita GST collection for that given period. GST, as we know, is the goods and services tax, and it's one of the indicators of the economic activity within a state. The highest per capita GST collection comes from Dadra and Nagar Haveli at 7,576 rupees, and among the largest states, it is Delhi and Haryana, both above 2,500 rupees. Then come the middle states where the GST collected per capita ranges between 1,000 rupees and 2,000. These states are Maharashtra, Chandigarh, Karnataka, Gujarat, Uttarakhand, Telangana, Pondicherry, Himachal, Tamil Nadu, and Odisha. Now, second from bottom are a bunch of states where the GST per capita is above 500 and less than 1000 rupees. These are the states of Chhattisgarh, Andaman Nicobar, Ladakh, Jharkhand, Kerala, Punjab, Rajasthan, Arunachal Pradesh, West Bengal, and Meghalaya. And then we have at the bottom of the pack the states where the GST collection ranges from 10 rupees up to 500 rupees. Madhya Pradesh, Andhra, Assam, UP, J&K, Lakshadweep, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura, Manipur, Bihar, and Daman and Diu. If you leave the smaller states and the union territories, then at the bottom of the pack are the usual suspects: Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Assam. And needless to say, we all know who has been ruling in these states for several years now. The third point which I want to discuss is related to public health. I have chosen one parameter which I'll be showing you, but I am sure that if I had chosen any other parameter, there would not have been a great variance between what I am showing and what the other parameters would have shown. The analysis shows that the citizen health in the EAG states remains neglected. I'll quickly explain what are the EAG states. There are 8 states, namely Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Bihar, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and Odisha, that are called the Empowered Action Group or the EAG. The reason is that their development determines the development of the nation. The rest of the states are called non EAG state. They are more rural and socio-economically backward compared to the rest of the country, and they constitute of roughly 60% of the national population. So the data which I'm going to show you will be clubbed into 3 bands. First is EAG. I have added Assam to it. Then you have the southern states of Andhra, Telangana, Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. And then in the last, all the other states which are left out from the above list. The parameter which I am showing you is the maternal mortality rate, that is, the death of a woman while giving birth to a child. The data is collected per 1 lakh births. On the left, you will always see the India average. The data has been taken from the sample registration survey for 3 years. The blue lines are for 2014-2016 survey, the yellow ones for 2015-2017 survey, and the latest is in red of the 2016 and 18 survey. Now, in the EAG and Assam list, you will find that Assam is the worst in this parameter. It is way, way above the national average. Second to that is UP, which is very close to Assam and is touching 200 deaths per lakh of births in the last survey. Then we have Rajasthan, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh. In fact, all of them are above the national average. Only Jharkhand and Uttarakhand are lower than the average. Now, this graph is for the southern states, and just look at the health service indicator. They are all of them are below the national average and way below the EAG and Assam. And this is the same data for the other states, barring Punjab, which is not doing too well. Again, all the other states like Gujarat, Haryana, Bengal, Maharashtra are below the national average. Now, if I put all of this data of the averages in a single graph, the story will be very clear. So here is the combined graph. Concentrate on the red bars, which is the latest survey. India average is 113, EAG and Assam is 161, almost 1.5 times of the India rate. Southern states are 67 and the other states are 83. You still have a choice to believe that BJP is doing a great job in the northern states. I think I have time just to show you one more parameter, so I'll just talk about cash in the economy very quickly. My question is, who is consuming cash in India? So here is the graph showing the cash in circulation in our economy. In 2015, it was around 14.5 lakh crores. The year when demonetization happened, it was around 16.6 lakh crores, came down a little bit that very next year, and then has been steadily going up. Last year, it was 32.39 lakh crores, and till December, we have already crossed 30.88 lakh crores. The estimates are that this year it's going to be a record high. The line above it you are seeing is cash in circulation as a percentage of the economy. It came down after the demonetization to 8.7%, but thereafter it has been steadily increasing. It peaked at around 14.4% of our economy, and as I said, this year there is going to be even a higher peak. Now, here is a historical graph that I have taken from the RBI, which shows the cash in circulation as a ratio of the GDP, right from 1971 onwards till 2019. If you see till around 2000, the cash in circulation to GDP ratio was less than 10%. It is only after 2000 when our economy picked up, this cash in the economy started increasing rapidly and rose up to 12.5% of the GDP. Many people ask this question that whether in an election year the cash in the economy is going up. I'll try to answer that question. So let's see the effect of the general elections on the cash. The blue arrows here are the elections before 2000, and the red arrows are when the elections happened after 2000. Now, before 2000, there is no correlation between the cash in the economy and the election year. However, after 2000, you can see a minor increase in cash in the year 2004. Then again, there was a peak in 2009. In 2014, again it peaked, and now 2019 onwards, it is going up all the way, probably preparing for 2024 election. Though mathematically there is still no evidence that cash goes up, but once you plot it, these peaks do occur. And mind you, this is happening in spite of the UPI transactions reaching an all time high. Now, in my opinion, these are just broad indicators, but each one of them are very important and indicates the health of our economy. In addition, they also indicate how effective our governance is. So that's all in today's episode. I'll see you again next week with some other data. Till then, goodbye and namaskar.